What's up, gamers? It's your boy Steve back with another episode of Get GameSmart. The PBE for TeamFight Tactics 5.0 has launched, and we are playing it right now. It's pretty amazing, guys. If you've been enjoying the videos, definitely like and subscribe. And I want to know from you down in the comments what you guys think of this set. Are you guys gonna miss the chosen mechanic, or the new shadow items enticing enough? I think personally that this set is going to be a ton of fun. And I also think that this is one of the most fun parts of any expansion or any new set, any new season, is everybody being on the PBE, kind of testing out what's working, what's not, and yeah, everyone's sort of on the same page. Nobody knows what the meta is. Nobody's really sweating and hard forcing anything. So yeah, I think it's just a fun time. As far as this game goes, I did have a Dawnbringer start with Legionnaire as well. Still following standard practice of trying to level at 2-1 or pre-level. Yeah, I'm not sure what the meta is going to be. I think that the lack of chosens is definitely going to impact the leveling patterns, and I don't think we're going to see people rushing to 8. I think that re-rolling and staying at level 5 a little bit longer is also going to be something that we see. I've noticed that, yeah, I definitely like to stick at level 5 longer, and yeah, that's one thing I've noticed, but up to level 5 it's pretty much the same. As far as the new shadow items, definitely check out my shadow video guide, or shadow item guide, where I went over and gave my first impressions and hot takes. I think some of what I said in that video is definitely holding true. Some changes have already been made from what I was looking at versus what's actually in the game now, so definitely be aware of that. But yeah, as far as items go, I think definitely prioritize shadow items. If you're playing on the PBE, I think they are just stronger than their non-shadow components right now, and I think that's kind of by design. If they're gonna go to the effort of introducing these new mechanics, they may as well make them be used, right? People want to use shadow items, so use the shadow items right now. Aside from that, I think that Giant's Belt is a pretty good starting item, actually. I think that Giant's Belt is a very good item overall in this set, and that's largely because a lot of the items that used to be kind of like borderline not usable kind of thing have been buffed. The one I'm looking at specifically here is Redemption. I think Redemption is an incredibly strong not unit, item. It's an incredibly strong item in its current state. I don't know if the numbers are going to change, and yeah, I think the numbers are probably going to change, at least on the sacrificial one, because it's a little bit bonkers, the dark Redemption, basically. So I actually slammed that on the on the Soraka here, and this is a really beautiful synergy that I built pretty early. It's 2-5 right now, and I've got 4 Dawnbringers, so it's 50% max health after they max health heal after they go down to 50% health, and the Renewer obviously means that they are basically a mini spirit visage or animated visage or whatever it was, the Ornn item from the last set. Where they are generating a bunch of health, and if they're full health, they'll generate mana instead. So I've got a ton of healing overall on my Soraka from both the Dawnbringer and the Renewer passives. Both of her traits are online, and she is then going to deal damage to herself in order to heal the team for 15% of their missing health. So it's a pretty crazy, pretty bonkers heal. Yeah, 15% of their missing health every 5 seconds. It is no joke, and so you see Soraka in these fights, she's not getting hurt by it that much. Between the Dawnbringer and Renewer passive, she has got a lot of health, so this is a incredible sustain build, or whatever you want to call it, an undying composition. It's really quite strong, guys, and I think this is one of the more fun item interactions I've played on this set so far. Definitely drop me a comment with what fun item combinations you guys have been playing around with, and what's really OP. But I think that in its current state, I think that the Sacrificial Redemption is incredibly strong on especially anybody that's like a Dawnbringer or has a built-in heal. or any of the renewers, obviously. And obviously, I think Soraka is going to be the best carrier for this unit, just because she is able to make use of both of those self-healing traits. Yeah, Tear of the Goddess in general, I think, is just a strong item. Just like, I think Redemption's really, really strong, guys. It's really good to see that Riot has given love to these items that were previously not in the game, and I think Riot's done a really good job of that throughout League of Legends too, right? Like, I don't play much Summoner's Rift anymore, but they were always good at making things that weren't relevant again, and I think that's good for keeping the game fresh and not always using the same units. I mean, of course, we see a lot of repeats in this set as far as champions go, but still, I gotta give Reddit credit where it's due, because they get a lot of complaints too. But yeah, anyways, the Dawnbringer I think is a pretty good opener. I definitely think it's the way to go with this. I've got 2 sacrificial redemptions now on my Soraka, so we're pumping out 30% missing health every 5 seconds for my entire team, guys. And despite the fact that Raka is taking damage on the tick, she heals it right up right afterwards. So yeah, this is a pretty strong combination. We've also got the Jeweled Gauntlet on our Kha'Zix. So Kha'Zix's isolated damage right now is absolutely bonkers. At level 2, it's over 1,000 damage. So just giving that the chance to crit for whatever 1,500 damage or whatever means that if it's an isolated target and it crits, it can even one-shot a tank pretty much at this level, at this stage of the game. Yeah, we did go up to level 6. Sorry I didn't point out what time we went up to level 6. It looks like at 3-4, maybe 3-3 we went up to level 6. And I think I only did that because I was actually win streaking. And it let me put in the Brawler tag as well. So obviously I'm getting a ton of value from the Brawler tag, because it gives my Gragas frontline more health. And obviously that frontline is getting 30% of its missing health every 5 seconds for my Soraka in the back. So obviously just giving more health is going to get myself more healing. So I'm getting a ton of value out of this, and this has allowed me to just like really open strong in this PBE match. I don't know what this lobby is like, guys. I mean, these are all normals on the PBE server. Yeah, but I have to assume anybody playing on the PBE is somebody that is taking the time and wants to improve. So probably decently strong lobbies. I don't think any of my strong lobbies have been this week. There is a quick blackout here. I was changing a setting, but it should jump back very shortly. Sorry about that. Yeah, back at Wolves here. Here we are. So yeah, you can get shadow items from the carousel and from the armory. You cannot get shadow items from PvE rounds. So that's really good to know. And yeah, I'm looking at this renewer spatula. So it used to be a mage spat, but it's now a renewer spat with the normal tier. The shadow tier, I believe, makes a spellbinder cap, which is pretty good as well. But the renewer cap, I think, is really strong, guys. Really strong, because the renewer trait is bonkers, and it's kind of built around being on these squishy caster types, or maybe kind of tanky caster types, mainly because of the renewer tag. But it gives them, I think it's 5% and then 8% max health every 3 seconds or something, I believe. I'm sure the numbers are going to change on this anyways, so it doesn't matter exactly what the values are, but it's percent max health every few seconds. So obviously if we throw that spat on somebody that's quite tanky inherently, they are going to get very tanky. Or if you throw that on somebody and stack health on them, just like stacking health on any of your renewers, stacking health on them is going to obviously get like pretty high dividends, like pretty high return on investment, in that it's going to increase the total values that are healed. So as far as leveling patterns go, reflecting more broadly on the set, I think that level 4 and level 5 are going to be standard at like 2-1 and 2-5 again. I think that's going to be normal. I think that we're gonna delay, like if you're win streaking, maybe you'll level up at like 3-2 or 3-3 to level 6, but I think generally it's gonna be more like 3-7, 3-6, 3-5, like after carousel round 3, so 3-5 maybe, for leveling up to level 6. But I do think that level 7 and 8 are going to come at a pretty normal time. And I think that 9 is actually going to happen a lot more frequently and a lot more commonly in this set. And the reason I think that level 9 is going to happen a lot more is because, like, legendaries, I think 5 costs are just stronger than they were in the last set. That's kind of how they felt, at least to me so far. Who knows what the numbers will actually be like once this goes live, but I think playing a bunch of legendaries is definitely going to feel good. And also no chosens means that you obviously just have one less, like, trait to work with, essentially. And so just like for unlocking all of your traits, I think going to level 9 is going to be better. But we'll see. Maybe the meta is going to be just all reroll 1 costs and Hellion rerolls. I could see Hellion rerolls being a really popular meta as well. At least at the start of the patch, where people haven't figured out what the late game compositions really work yet. I think it's going to have a really powerful early game. Warwick just ate my team there. So Warwick is definitely in a slightly unhealthy place right now, admittedly. I think that Warwick is probably tuned a bit higher than he should be. He's just healing a bit too much, I think. Warwick with like a jeweled gauntlet also feels pretty good. Yeah, I feel like there's also some items where, like, the shadow item is way better than the non-shadow item, and I feel like the opposite is also true. What I don't see as much is items where both the shadow version and the non-shadow version are, like, really good, and just, like, it's situational. I think the exception of that is actually Redemption. Both Redemptions are very good. I think that Locket is also like that. Both Locket versions are extremely good, and both have like niche applications. I think that Zeke's is actually another. Okay, the more that I think about it, I think that Riot's actually done a pretty good job with this set. But there are definitely some items, and I am gonna nitpick, like the AD items right now. I'm talking the Sacrificial Ginsus. I'm talking the Last Whisper's okay, actually. I like that it does both shreds, but the Infinity Edge specifically and the Ginsus are terrible, and they feel so bad to play. Yeah, they they basically just absolutely grief your lifesteal, and yeah, it's not a great look. So hopefully Riot will change some of the numbers there, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's just going to ship like this on live, and we will get people doing crazy Mordekaiser things. So I've actually grabbed all the Mordekaisers here, and I'm trying not to play them. Mordekaiser is crazy busted on PBE, guys. If you just want to win games, play Mordekaiser. Straight up, he won't let you down. But that's not entirely what I'm here for, because I'm quite confident that Mordekaiser is going to get nerfed prior to release, and so I'm kind of looking at things that are a little bit more very good, but not absolutely abusive and so reliant on one number the way Mordekaiser is with his percentage health, like scaling. Like his shield's just too big right now. At least at the 1-star, it's ridiculous. He's like pretty much unkillable at 1-star and still does so much damage without items. But yeah. Like I said, I'm more playing around with things that are hopefully going to make it to live in more or less their current state, and yeah, trying to find something that might work out. We are at 5-6 here, getting towards the late game. I'm going up to level 9. Probably not the right decision to go up to level 9 here. Probably should have kept some econ, but honestly, it was losing rounds, and figured I may as well just make a push. I want to play around with some of the late game stuff more than I want to think about rolling necessarily. So just another tidbit of things that I've found. I really like Abomination early. I think Abomination is really effective as item carriers. I think getting 2 Abominations, slapping your early items onto it, and going to town is going to be a really, really good way to win streak early and get like a ton of value out of items. And I think we're going to have a lot easier time slamming items, because Chosen's, I'm sure you guys can kind of remember, Chosen's kind of forced this hyper transition where you don't actually need a team, you just sell your Chosen and roll down, and then you find a better Chosen and build around it, kind of thing. And that made for a game that was full of transitions and like, don't hold pairs, just hold econ and win. I think that we're going to go back to an older meta where it's more important to be holding your pairs and like planning out your route in advance. And that basically is going to allow for people to force compositions more easily. So I think that the lack of Chosens combined with the fact that you have more agency in which items you're going to use is going to like steer us towards a meta where we're forcing compositions, and we're just like going in. We could probably do the same thing every time if we wanted, or close to. I think that the variance in this set is going to be a lot lower, and I'm not sure what that means for the game overall yet, but I think it's going to be interesting. So one thing I've had a lot of success with, and I'll probably post a video of, is actually Risk Thirster Draven. So I had one game where I had a Risk Thirster and a GA early. I slammed them on my Abomination people. And that carried me through the early game, because suddenly you have this monstrosity with Risk Thirster, which is, I think, the best standalone AD item potentially that we've ever seen in TFT, plus GA, so I'm getting double GA value, like at stage like 3 or something. It felt really good. Unfortunately, I don't think I recorded the game I'm thinking of per se, but yeah, I'm sure I'll play it again and run it back, because yeah, Draven's looking at like a really strong 4-cost carry that I'm pretty excited about. But I mean, at the same time, you could slam those 2 items and also flex it into a Rangers build just as easily. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see where this set goes. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I hope you guys are really enjoying the PBE. Unfortunately, we are not able to beat this guy's Draconian 5 board. Draconian 5 is like the new fortune of this set, and this guy has snowballed out of control. We're not able to stop him, but that doesn't mean that this build isn't OP either, so definitely try out the Sacrificial Redemptions guys on Renewers or Dawnbringers or whoever. Really strong item right now. Definitely choose it on the PBE. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.